Hey, Bears fans! We are back with all the latest updates on our Chicago Bears as we approach what could be one of the most crucial stretches of the season. There's so much happening across the league, and injuries are starting to reshape the landscape in ways that could completely alter playoff hopes and division races. We have to start with a situation that is already sending shockwaves through Green Bay and could have ripple effects across the NFC. Micah Parsons, the standout linebacker who has been a game-changer for the Packers since his arrival, is now facing what could be a season-ending injury. As of Monday morning, there is no official confirmation, but the concern is that he might have torn his anterior cruciate ligament. If that is the case, the implications are enormous. Parsons is not just a star. He is the type of player around whom an entire defense is structured. His ability to disrupt plays, create chaos in the backfield, and force offenses to adjust game plans cannot be overstated. Even in games where he doesn't record a sack, his presence alone demands attention and often alters the outcome of nearly every defensive snap he's on the field for. Think about the Bears-Packers matchup last week. Parsons was involved in play after play that had a direct impact on how Chicago could execute its offense. The Packers invested 2 first-round draft picks and nearly $50 million per year to secure him because they believe he could be the cornerstone of a championship-caliber defense. Losing him changes the dynamics of the NFC North and arguably makes Green Bay's Super Bowl aspirations far less certain. Without a player like Parsons, even the best-laid plans can falter, and suddenly, a team that looked like a contender has to rethink its entire season. Meanwhile, Christian Watson, who also exited the field last week and was taken to the hospital, appears to have avoided any serious damage. Reports indicate that he does not have a long-term injury, which is a relief because his explosive ability has been critical for the Packers' offense. Over the past several weeks, Watson has been one of the most dangerous receivers in the league, averaging significant yardage per catch and consistently giving quarterback Jordan Love a reliable deep threat. The game against the Bears demonstrated just how pivotal he can be, turning ordinary plays into game-changing moments. Even if Watson's participation this Saturday is uncertain, avoiding a serious injury here is vital. Green Bay's offensive depth is already stretched, especially with Tucker Kraft out for the season. Having Watson available, even in a limited capacity, could make a crucial difference as they navigate a short week and prepare for one of the Bears' biggest challenges of the season. The Packers also saw other injury concerns with key starters like Zach Tom and Evan Williams leaving the field. Both are impactful players, with Tom anchoring the offensive line and Williams providing stability in the secondary. While initial reactions from the team suggest these injuries might not be long-term, the short week makes their availability against Chicago questionable. From a Bears perspective, this could represent a slight advantage. Being able to face a Green Bay team without its full complement of starters, especially with Parsons already out, could give Chicago a clearer path to taking control of the division. Every injury matters when the playoffs are approaching, and the Bears are well-positioned to capitalize if they can maintain health and execution in the coming games. On the Bears' side, we also have to consider the status of Romain Duné, who aggravated a foot injury during warm-ups last week. While there hasn't been a formal update on a timeline, it seems unlikely that he will be fully available this week. Duné has been playing through this issue for several games, and it has noticeably affected his performance. His route precision and overall production have dipped since the injury first appeared, which is understandable given the demands of his position. Even if he can play, he will likely be limited, so the team may need to adjust how they utilize him in key plays. Still, having him on the field at any capacity could provide valuable options for the offense, especially when balancing game planning against a division rival. On a more positive note, Tremaine Edmunds is eligible to return from the short-term injured reserve. If the coaching staff opens his practice window this week, he could contribute in a limited role against the Packers. Even if he only sees 20 to 25 snaps, his presence alongside T.J. Edwards could provide a significant boost to the Bears' defense. When this duo has played together this season, they have been a disruptive force in the back seven, compensating for the front four when pressure on opposing quarterbacks is inconsistent. Getting Edmunds back, even partially, could be exactly what Chicago needs to solidify its defensive game plan and maintain control over crucial matchups in the closing weeks of the regular season. Looking at the playoff picture heading into this week, the Bears' path is fairly straightforward, but every win and every loss shifts the landscape dramatically. With only a few weeks remaining, each game becomes even more important. The Bears have an opportunity to climb in the NFC North, especially if they can capitalize on matchups against the Packers and other division opponents. Currently, they sit half a game ahead of Green Bay, and a victory this weekend could push them a full game and a half up in the standings. If they can continue to win while other contenders stumble, they could be on the verge of clinching the division with 2 games to spare, which would set up the team nicely for the playoff push. This scenario underscores just how important health, preparation, and execution are for the Bears in the final weeks of the season. Every key player, every tactical adjustment, and every coaching decision will be magnified as Chicago works to secure a top spot in the NFC. While injuries across the league have made headlines, the Bears have had to navigate their own challenges as well. Players like Dune and others dealing with minor injuries have forced the team to adapt and find ways to maintain efficiency on both sides of the ball. These adjustments, combined with strategic game planning, have allowed the Bears to remain competitive in a division that is tightening up quickly. The next couple of weeks are pivotal, and how the team responds to these challenges will likely define their postseason trajectory. Balancing limited practice time, managing player recovery, and keeping a focus on fundamentals will all be crucial as Chicago moves forward, especially with the Packers looming as a major obstacle. The dynamic of this rivalry, compounded by injuries, makes this period one of the most intriguing stretches of the season. The Bears have the chance to take control of the NFC North, but it will require focus, discipline, and a bit of fortune in avoiding further injuries. The emergence of key players and the potential return of others like Edmonds could provide the edge needed to succeed. The matchup this week against Green Bay is no longer just about wins and losses. It has playoff and divisional implications that could resonate for the rest of the season. Every snap, every defensive stand, and every offensive execution will matter, and Chicago fans are eager to see how their team rises to the occasion under pressure. As we monitor updates on Micah Parsons, Christian Watson, Romain Dune, and the Packers' other injured players, the stakes continue to grow. The Bears' preparation, combined with strategic utilization of their returning players and emerging contributors, will be a key storyline heading into this pivotal weekend. There's a lot to unpack, but the excitement is undeniable, and Chicago fans should be ready for a thrilling week of football that could have lasting consequences for both the division and the playoff picture. Now, turning back to the Bears side of the field, there are a few other developments that fans should be paying close attention to as the team prepares for this critical stretch of games. One of the more encouraging stories has been the continued growth and emergence of younger players who are starting to make a real impact in key situations. Even with some of the veteran pieces dealing with injuries, these up-and-coming players have stepped up in a way that shows not only depth, but also the potential for sustained success. In particular, the Bears have seen flashes of brilliance from some of their skill position players, who are beginning to develop chemistry with the quarterback and demonstrate an ability to execute under pressure. These contributions may not always fill the highlight reels, but in games as tightly contested as the ones approaching, every yard, every catch, and every defensive stop counts. On defense, the return of Tremaine Edmonds, even on a limited snap count, is significant. When paired with TJ Edwards, they create a duo capable of reading offenses, making adjustments on the fly, and forcing turnovers at critical moments. The front four may not always generate consistent pressure, but the ability of the back seven to make plays can completely change the dynamic of a game. With Edmonds and Edwards on the field, the Bears have the opportunity to neutralize key Packers weapons, disrupt timing, and force Jordan Love into uncomfortable situations. The secondary, already skilled at covering and tackling, can operate with more confidence when the linebackers are effectively managing the intermediate and short zones. This is exactly the kind of situational advantage that could make the difference in a high-stakes divisional matchup. Meanwhile, injuries on the offensive side have posed a challenge as well, particularly with Romain Dune still not at full strength. His foot issue has lingered, affecting his route running and overall production, which means the Bears will need to rely on a combination of emerging talent and careful game planning to maintain offensive efficiency. It is worth noting, though, that even when limited, Dune brings experience, situational awareness, and a threat that defenses must respect. Finding ways to leverage his skills without overexposing him to risk is key, especially with a short week and the intensity of a matchup against Green Bay looming. The team's coaching staff has been adjusting play calls and distributing targets strategically to compensate. And if executed well, these adjustments can create opportunities for both veteran and younger players to shine. As we look at the broader playoff landscape, the NFC picture is becoming clearer with each passing week, but nothing is set in stone. The Bears have a golden opportunity to control their destiny in the NFC North, but every decision, every player availability update, and every outcome from other games in the conference has the potential to shift their standing. With only a few games left in the regular season, every matchup is magnified, and each game carries the weight of playoff implications. The Bears' path to the postseason is simplified if they can capitalize on wins, especially against division rivals. Securing a victory over the Packers this weekend could put them firmly in the driver's seat, while losses could create tense scenarios that make the final weeks even more stressful and unpredictable. The margin for error is shrinking, which makes preparation, focus, and execution absolutely critical. Offensively, the Bears will need to be sharp, particularly in how they approach key matchups in the passing game. While Dune may be limited, other receivers and tight ends are beginning to emerge as reliable options. These players are gaining confidence, running cleaner routes, and building chemistry with the quarterback. In high-pressure situations, this growing cohesion could make the difference between converting a crucial third down or settling for a field goal. The offensive line's performance will also be pivotal, providing time for the quarterback to make reads and protecting against blitzes that could exploit matchups against a Packers defense still adjusting without Parsons. Every assignment, every block, and every decision becomes amplified in games where playoff positioning is on the line. Special teams could also play a subtle but important role in these upcoming contests. Field position, kickoff returns, and coverage units can shift momentum in ways that may not immediately show up in the box score, but directly influence how the game unfolds. Historically, the Bears have demonstrated the ability to make key plays in these areas, and with a few of their playmakers returning from injury, this facet of the game could be an unexpected advantage. In a matchup against a division rival like Green Bay, where every point matters and games are often decided by a handful of plays, the importance of field position and special teams execution cannot be overstated. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL rumor mill is swirling again, and this time it centers on a surprising twist involving the Chicago Bears and the New England Patriots. Sources close to the Bears organization suggest that quarterback KYLE Monangai could be making a move east, and the whispers are growing louder by the day. The chatter gained more fuel after Bears head coach Ben Johnson offered a statement that has left fans and pundits reading between the lines. Let him be happy in the Patriots, Johnson reportedly said, a phrase that many interpret as a tacit nod to Monangai's potential departure. Speculation is now rampant. Is this a sign that the Bears are ready to part ways with a player who has shown flashes of brilliance, but has struggled to find consistency under the current system? Or is this just the coach expressing genuine goodwill while keeping his cards close to the chest? Either way, Johnson's words have not gone unnoticed, and social media erupted almost immediately, with fans dissecting every syllable. Some see it as an emotional farewell, while others believe it's the opening salvo in a complex negotiation that could reshape both rosters. Meanwhile, whispers around the Patriots camp suggest that the organization might be quietly weighing the possibility of adding Monangai to their quarterback rotation. If true, this could signal a strategic move to bolster depth and shake up the competition behind center, where the team has faced ongoing questions about consistency and performance. Analysts are now theorizing about the fit. Would Monangai thrive in a system designed around quick reads and precision passing, or would he struggle to adapt to the fast-paced New England offense? The buzz is intense, and every training session, every minor injury report, every subtle tweet is being scrutinized for clues. Back in Chicago, teammates and insiders are reportedly reacting with a mixture of surprise and curiosity. Monangai has been described as a dedicated professional, and the notion of him testing new waters in New England has sparked debates among fans. Is this a brilliant career move or a risky gamble? Regardless, Johnson's statement seems to close the chapter on speculation about locker room tensions. There's a sense of amicable separation, at least on the surface, which adds another layer to the intrigue. For now, the NFL world waits. Trades, signings, and roster adjustments are never straightforward, and the Monangai to Patriots storyline is shaping up to be one of the season's most talked about possibilities. Every rumor has a kernel of truth, and in this case, it's the combination of Johnson's candid comment and the murmurs coming from both franchises that keeps fans glued to the rumor mill. Could KYLE Monangai be the next big quarterback surprise in New England? Only time, and perhaps a few carefully worded press conferences, will tell. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.